My husband was secretly spending time with a girl from work. Then I found receipts for expensive restaurants, and it turns out he told her he was single and spent a lot of money on her Christmas gift. I'm 29F, and my husband, 30M, and I have been together for 8 years and married for just over a year. We met at a friend's house party back when I was in my early 20s. It wasn't anything special or romantic. He spilled his drink on my shoes, apologized profusely, and we ended up talking the rest of the night while my shoes dried by the radiator. After that, we just clicked. He asked for my number, and the rest is history. Things were actually pretty good between us, or at least I thought they were. He's always worked at the same company since he graduated from college. It's a firm that pays well but works him hard. In all our time together, I've rarely heard him talk about any of his coworkers because he's not really the kind of guy who tries to make connections. He's very introverted and likes to stay in his bubble. In the early years of our relationship, I'd ask him about work, and he'd just shrug and say, "They're fine," or "Nothing interesting." He doesn't realize how approachable he is. I've been with him long enough to know he's calm, funny, and quirky in a way that draws people in, even if he doesn't see it. He has this dry sense of humor that catches you off guard. People like talking to him, even though he never seeks those interactions out. We've had a pretty normal routine for years. We both work during the week, sometimes have friends over on weekends, mostly my friends to be honest, and generally just exist together. He's never been the type to go out much without me, which I guess I got used to. Our typical weekend was sleeping in, making breakfast together, maybe a movie or a house project, then takeout and a show. Things started changing around 6 months into our marriage. He began staying late at work more often, saying there were big projects coming up. I didn't think much of it because his company does get busy in cycles. But then he started being on his phone more. He's never been a big texter or social media person. Then he started mentioning this girl at work, said she'd had a rough year and he was trying to uplift her. That was weird immediately because my husband doesn't usually do that. He's the kind of guy who once told his brother to walk it off after a 3-year relationship ended. He doesn't get involved. At first, it was harmless. Her car broke down. She got dumped. I didn't think much of it. He's a decent guy. But the frequency was off. He never cared about a coworker's personal life like this before. Then came texting during dinner. He's always been strict about no phones at the table. It was his pet peeve. When I pointed it out, he said it was work stuff and put it away. But it kept happening. Then one Friday night, while we were folding laundry, our usual Friday routine, he casually asked if it was okay to take Sarah out for drinks. Just like that. I asked if I could come, and he said he didn't want to make things awkward between me and her, especially since she was going through a breakup. Comfort her? Since when does he comfort anyone? I pressed him, and he showed me a picture. She's young, very pretty. Not to be that insecure wife, but come on, she looks like a model. Perfect skin, long dark hair, that effortless beauty that makes you feel like a troll. I had a pit in my stomach, but I played it cool. Sure, whatever, help your friend, I said. Inside, I was screaming, but I didn't want to be the controlling wife who freaks out every time her husband talks to another woman. He went out that Saturday, came home around midnight smelling like beer. Didn't say a word about how the night went. When I asked, all he said was, "She's going through a lot," without even looking up from his phone. I've read their conversations. It hurts. My husband always initiates. Always. He never initiates text with me anymore. I used to get random messages during the day. Jokes, dinner plans. Miss you. Those have stopped. With her, he's constantly checking in. How are you feeling? Did you try that meditation app? Want to grab lunch? My treat. It's like he's auditioning to be her life coach. They started going out every Saturday. First drinks, then dinner and drinks, then full-day trips. One Saturday, he said they were going hiking. Since when does he hike? We went once 3 years ago. He hated it. I told him I was starting to feel uncomfortable. We were getting ready for bed, and I said, casually, "Don't you think you're spending a lot of time with Sarah? People at work might start talking." He brushed it off. It's nothing. I'm just helping her out. He even described it as a female-female friendship. What does that even mean? I asked if I could join them sometime. He panicked just for a second and then said, maybe sometime. She's fragile. Meeting new people is hard for her. I'm not new people. I'm his wife. He still lets me read their chats, I guess to make me feel better, but it doesn't. It hurts. He replies to her instantly. I text during work, he takes hours. She texts, he's on it in minutes. One time, she left him on read, and he sent 3 follow-ups apologizing for bothering her. Who is this man? One time he was in the shower and she sent him 7 messages in a row. Nothing inappropriate, but still. When he came out, he grabbed his phone, laughed, and texted her back. Didn't even say hi to me. He's buying new clothes. More fitted. New cologne. He started going to the gym, all since this started. Every time I bring it up, he says I'm overreacting, that I don't trust him, that I'm making something out of nothing. We had a big fight. I said, I think you're developing feelings for her. He got defensive, said, she's just a friend. Asked why I'm so threatened. Made it about my insecurities. I told him I wanted to meet her. He asked, for what reason? Like, that was a weird request. I made dinner plans for Saturday, hoping to interrupt their routine. He moved our dinner to Friday instead. Didn't ask, just told me. He's never prioritized anyone else like this. I asked if she knows he's married. He said yes, but got defensive. I've never seen him mention me in their texts, not once. Not my wife. Nothing. He doesn't wear his wedding ring to work, says it gets in the way of typing. One time we had plans to visit my sister, but he texted last minute saying he had to stay late because she was having a crisis. We canceled. My sister was annoyed. When I asked him what happened, he just said she needed someone to talk to. Changed the subject. I talked to my best friend. She said I'm overreacting, that men and women can be friends. I know that. I have male friends. But I don't go out drinking with them every weekend, text them 24/7, or cancel plans with my husband to comfort them. There's friendship, and then there's this. This morning I found a receipt in his jacket pocket for a fancy restaurant we've talked about going to for special occasions. I guess I wasn't special enough to take there. Should I give him an ultimatum, her or me? Am I overreacting? I feel like I'm watching my marriage fall apart in slow motion, and he's gaslighting me into thinking it's all in my head. Any advice? I love him, but I don't know how much more of this I can take. Update, thanks for all the comments. Some of you need to chill with the divorce him immediately stuff. To answer some common questions. Yes, we've had issues before, but nothing major. No, we don't have kids, thankfully, given what's happening. Yes, we've been intimate recently, though less than before. After reading your comments and ignoring the mean ones, I decided to talk to him again. I spent all day rehearsing. I wanted to be calm, rational, express my feelings without accusing him. I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt while standing up for myself. That all went out the window when he came home late again last night. No text, no apology. Just walked in at 8:30. He's usually home by 6. Went straight to the fridge like nothing was wrong. I told him I want him to stop seeing her every Saturday, unless I'm there too. He told me I'm not making any sense and asked why I'm making such a big deal out of it. Rude imposition. I called him several names I probably shouldn't repeat here, and he got so upset. In the heat of the moment, I took his phone and went through every single app. He tried to grab it back, but I locked myself in the bathroom. He was pounding on the door, yelling at me to respect his privacy, but all I could think was that married people shouldn't need this much privacy from each other. He's been messaging her constantly, way more than I realized. Pictures of random things that reminded him of her. He even sent her a poem once. My husband, who got me a pre-written card for our anniversary, wrote this girl a poem. I found out he gave her a very expensive gift worth almost $1,000. $1,000. I was beyond pissed about it. For context, we have both joint and personal accounts, and he used his personal money for this, but still, he spent more on her Christmas gift than he did on mine. It was a pair of designer earrings she had apparently mentioned liking once. Meanwhile, I got a kitchen appliance I specifically said I didn't want because it felt too housewifey. A lot of things happened after my original post. My brain couldn't process everything. We had a huge screaming match where I threatened to tell this girl that I'm his wife and that she's being a homewrecker. He said he'd never forgive me if I ruined the one and only friendship he had. One and only friendship? We've been together 8 years and he's acting like this girl he's known for a few months is the only person who understands him. Then he dropped the bomb. He said he hasn't felt the love ever since we got married, that he's never been this happy, excited, and contented with anyone before. Those words felt like actual physical pain. It was like being stabbed while simultaneously falling from a great height. I couldn't breathe. Then he started listing all these things about our relationship that apparently bother him, things he's never mentioned before. Said I don't challenge him intellectually, whatever that means. Said I've become complacent in our relationship. Said he feels stifled by my expectations. Where is all this coming from? If he felt this way, why didn't he say something months or years ago? Why wait until he's formed this intense bond with someone else to suddenly decide our marriage isn't intellectually stimulating enough? He slept in the guest room that night. I didn't sleep at all. I just laid in our bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to figure out when everything went wrong. Was it something I did? Something I didn't do? Is there any way to fix this, or is it already too broken? After he left for work the next day, I ended up messaging the girl. I found her on his Instagram and just sent her a simple, "Hi, I'm husband's name's wife. We need to talk." She replied almost immediately and seemed genuinely shocked. She said she didn't know he was married and was very apologetic about it. She even sent screenshots of their conversations where he explicitly told her he was single. Single, not separated, not in an open marriage, not going through a divorce. Single. There were messages where he talked about future plans with her, weekend trips they could take, restaurants he wanted to bring her to, the kind of apartment they could get together someday. He was so mad when he found out I messaged her. He came home early from work, which was ironic considering how little time he's been spending at home lately. His face was red and he was shaking. Then he left the house and wouldn't answer his phone. I started panicking and actually messaged the girl again to ask if she was with him. She said no, that she had just gotten out of a bad breakup and didn't want to be involved in any more drama. She seemed sincerely sorry and said if she had known he was married, she wouldn't have gone out with him at all. I found out she just started working at his company 3 months ago. 3 months. And he's acting like they have this deep connection I couldn't possibly understand. She's 24, 5 years younger than me. Not drastically younger, but young enough that they're in different life stages. She's still going out clubbing with friends, while I'm thinking about retirement plans and maybe starting a family someday. I have so many questions swirling in my mind right now. How could he lie so blatantly to both of us? Has he been physically cheating or just emotionally? Why did he start pulling away right after we got married? Why didn't he just talk to me if he was unhappy? I've been sitting in our empty house for hours, just staring at the wall, trying to make sense of everything. All our photos are still up. Us hiking in the mountains on our third date. Us at his brother's wedding. Our own wedding. Were we ever really happy, or was I just seeing what I wanted to see? He turned his phone off completely, and I have no idea where he is. His best friend hasn't heard from him either. Yes, I called him. So much for one and only friendship. His parents called me asking why he missed their weekly Sunday call, and I didn't know what to tell them. I just said we had a fight and he went out to clear his head. I couldn't bring myself to tell them what's really happening. They've always been so kind to me. I don't know what happens next. I don't know if he's coming back.